All right, Caleb. Here are the lures I would use in your lake. I'll actually give you a few. So these are all the plastics I'd buy. If it's darker, murkier water, I would focus more. These are watermelon seed. So if you notice when you hold up to kind of the light, it has kind of the speckles in it. It's kind of a green with the speckles called watermelon seed. There's a 3-inch. It's a 3-inch kind of this is called a Gander Mountain brand, which I don't know if you have Gander Mountains there. This is Zoom. This one right here I actually bought in Utah. So it's about a 4-inch. Has a little V tail if you notice there. These are really, really good plastics, kind of the skinnier view. I'll show you how you rig that up. And then if the water starts to clear, or especially if you have bluegill, these ones are really good. Now, if you're just starting, if they're right after the spawn, these is called a baby bass color. If it's kind of a bright day, sunny day, sometimes these work really well, just kind of a different color. Very exact same as this one up here, just different color. That one's always a good one as well. And then these ones are Zoom brands right here. You have a 3-inch and a 5-inch, or 4-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch. These are baby bass. They have little speckles in them. These ones are very good. I've noticed these work pretty well in kind of greenish, murky water. Seems pretty good. The water's clear or really bright. This is called a white pearl. Same style as this one, just white. The clearer the water, the hotter it is in terms of the sun being out midday. These ones are already actually work pretty well. But these are all called flukes. Work really well. And I'll show you how you rig these up in just a second. These are called Senkos. It's just basically kind of a small worm. There's a 3-inch, and this is watermelon red. Watermelon red works great. You could also do the same color, same type of view in the watermelon seed, which is these colors over here. You can do the same thing for these Senkos. There's a 3-inch and a 4-inch. I'll show you how you rig those up. And then this is called a baby brush hog, same coloring, same rig. I'll show you how you rig this up. But these also work well, just really slow along the bottom. In terms of hooks, these are the hooks you want. So this is a 1/0 low profile. It's good when there's a lot of pressure on the fish, and you want to be really careful on how they see the hook. If you don't really care too much, then there's just a normal 2/0 offset hook. And so notice they're both offset. That's what I was talking about earlier. And you could probably go up as big as like a 3/0. It's probably as big as I would go. Unless you're fishing kind of the 4-inch, you could go probably up to a 4/0, maybe a 5/0, but 5/0 gets a little too big. The fish will see that. Okay, so these are the different ones. Jen's laughing at me right now.
I'm laughing because they found the Lakers.
Okay, now in terms of we were talking about spinner baits. So this is the buzz bait. This is the one I was talking about. This is a buzz bait. This is actually worked on the top water. You just pull it. It almost makes a buzzing sound on top of the water. Fairly good, close to shore, close to like big reeds and stuff like that. Then you have the spinner baits, and this is what I was talking about of a true bass spinner bait. If you notice here, it has like an arm, and you would tie it just very up on here in the top, just like you would like a normal hook. You tie it right up here on top. But these are always good. There's kind of a gray and brown. Chartreuse is always a really good one as well. You basically just slow roll those. I think those ones right now are those are more later in the summer. Probably maybe the end of the month those will start working, or if an area that you just want to cover a lot of area because you just basically cast and go. But those are the type of spinner baits I would use. Now there's top waters. If you do top waters, this is the Pop R, kind of a bass color, kind of a shiny. You can go up pretty dark with that if you want, depending on the murkiness of it. But this is a good all-around one that I use. And then there's also this is called a hula popper. It kind of has like a frog view. It's called a tiger stripe. I've caught some pretty big bass on this. Again, it has kind of this concave mouth. It floats on the top, and you pull it. And when you pull it, it makes a popping sound. It kind of spits water out. It's called a spitter. They seem to like that, and they'll hit that on the top. Another thing you do, this is called a jitterbug. This is a bass color, but the one that works the best for me is actually the one that's all black. This seems to work really well, especially in the evening time. What it does is you cast it and you just roll it along the water, and this thing makes a gurgle sound. It goes gurgle, 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 gurgle as you're pulling it along. Again, top water, bass love that. Finally, if there's a lot of muck, like a lot of grass or a lot of just scum in the water, this thing is called a scum frog. If you notice, the hooks are on top, and so you hook it in and you actually pull it along the water, kind of jump it. You try to make it look like a frog around the scum areas, around like trees, down trees and stuff. If they're under there, they'll come up and grab this. That one's actually a really good one. I've actually caught several just this last week on that. Now on the shiner, or not the shiners, on the hybrid, on the striped bass, these are the lipless crankbaits that I was talking about. And there's a bunch of different sizes and colors. This is called a rattle trap. It's kind of a funny looking thing, bright silver, pink. You can get blues. But basically, if you see something break in the water, you throw that in the middle of it and just bring it through. They're usually what it is. They're chasing it, and they'll see the shine, and they'll just go for it. If you're seeing, always look for the bait, what's happening in the water. If you see bait that's smaller, use a smaller crankbait or lipless crankbait. If you see some that are bigger, you can actually see them, then go larger. Always try to imitate what's in the water and what they're eating. All right. So let me go real quick to how you would rig one. Here, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this a two-part video. So then the second part, I'll show you how to rig it because I need to get this on a stand so you can see what kind of hooks are